Hey, you guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven, accompanied by Queen Taylor, and today we're excited. We're checking out cost of groceries in Britain versus America, comparing Aldi in the UK versus the United States. Now, if you guys remember, we've done the Kroger versus Tesco one that Magenta Otter Travels Dara has done in the past, and that video was eye-opening and interesting. Two major, I guess, grocery chains. You know, Kroger's massive in America, probably the biggest one, and Tesco in the UK. So I thought those were two very compelling uh, comparisons.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people in the comments that video said that Tesco is kind of a more expensive grocery store. We had actually reached out to Dara before we did that video, just to see if it was okay, make sure it was okay with her that we did the reaction to it. And she, obviously said it was okay since we did it, but we had kind of talked back and forth a little bit. And she had said that in the comments of that video, of her video, her original video of it, most people had said that she needs to check out Aldi's and do a comparison on that since it's kind of more even cost comparison. So she did let us know that, if we wanted to do another video of hers, that this one she thought would do really well because most people said do Aldi's. So she took everybody's comments that they said from that and went and did it. And these are very, very, very time consuming videos, you guys, for her to put these together. So
Yeah.
I think definitely make sure, if you haven't already, go show her lots and lots of love for doing that. This is an older video. I think she talked about maybe doing another one kind of more recently. We are here to see now the differences. I'm very excited. I only discovered Aldi's once we moved to Florida, and I absolutely love that store. I think it's so cool. I think the prices are great. I love that they kind of alternate things out, so you get a good rotation of stuff. That's where I've been able to find Jaffa cakes, is at Aldi's.
Yeah.
So really cool, really exciting. I have never personally shopped at Kroger myself. I know you've been there, so this will be a little bit more.
You've been to a Kroger store.
Comparable to me. When?
Because Kroger is the brand of King Soopers in Colorado.
Oh,
So
okay.
they own King Soopers as a Kroger supermarket.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought Kroger's was like Albertsons. It was like
Nope.
its own. Okay.
Kroger's like the big monopoly, and then everything underneath is subsidiaries to that, but they're like the supplier.
Okay.
So
I misspoke, but I digress. That was still years ago, and I've been to all of these more recently, so I can compare it a little bit better.
My experience with Aldi is you go into an Aldi store and it's not like going into a Kroger, because there are some name brands, but then there are brands you've never heard of. There are things like, where did this come from? And it almost feels like more of like the entire store is more of like a international feel to it, where it's almost like going to like a World of store rather than kind of like an American homegrown, like, you got the Doritos, the, Kellogg's, the stuff like that, where you're not really going to find that in Aldi.
Yeah.
And
That's very true.
it is interesting because Aldi also sells meats and stuff. And you're like, where are you guys getting those from?
But I do also like it because I feel like Aldi's is easier to find more healthier versions of things. Like I have an easier time there finding healthier,
organic, or
to like, fruit snacks or things like that, or things that are like dye free is a lot easier to find at Aldi's than having to like really search for it and order things online at a lot of other places. So this is going to be great.
This is going to be an exciting episode. It is a longer video, so buckle up. Let's watch this and enjoy it together. And again, we've spoken to Dara. She puts in so much effort into these videos, so please support her in this. Give her a like, give her a subscribe, go back to the original video. We'll have links below in our description. So make sure you guys comment and say, hey, I just watched Killer McKnight's reaction to this. It was awesome. Your video is great. She top tier content, you guys. Really enjoy her work. So
he meant her video is great, not our reaction to it, just FYI.
Well, I mean, our reaction might be great.
Yeah, but they are not going to say that if they don't think it. Her video is going to be great regardless.
Her video is going to be rigged because the amount of effort she puts into it. Let's be honest, you guys. So with that being said, let's hop on over to the video and let's get started.
It's time to compare food costs again in the US and the UK. Today, I'll be shopping at Aldi. The biggest video on my channel so far has been my grocery shopping video comparing prices at Tesco in England with Kroger in Texas here in the US. And in that video, one of the most popular comments was, "You need to go to Aldi. They have the best prices. They have the cheapest food. You went to expensive places. You bought expensive stuff." Today, our mission is
Get 'em,
to
Dara.
go to this Aldi here in Texas and to buy inexpensive basic food items. And then when I move to England 2 weeks from today,
Oh,
for the
yay!
summer, I will go shopping again in Cheltenham in Gloucestershire at the Aldi there, and we will see what the products look like and what the prices look like and compare the two. So while there are
Real quick. I thought that she was just vacationing in the UK. I didn't know
No.
that she moved.
She doesn't. She didn't move. She goes there every year for the summer.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Which, like, I am so envious. And Dara, if you are looking for a girlfriend to go with, you just let me know.
Anytime, yeah. You just let me know. But yeah, so like think about, she's recording at one location, taking down, making a separate video and then combining them
Mhm.
in the future. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's in a different country.
Mhm.
It's incredible.
And like knowing to plan that out to be like,
Yeah.
okay, while I'm here living here for the summer, I need to go do this. Yeah, she's
She's
incredible.
on top of it. It's incredible. I wouldn't have done that. That's too much effort and too much work.
It's
And I
so
would have
much, yeah.
forgotten, it's
I would be like, we're gonna go look at everything. And you would have been like, we gotta go to Aldi's. And I'm like, no, look at that castle.
yeah. So good for Dara on this one. This is
Yeah.
great.
see what the products look like and what the prices look like and compare the two. So while there are lots of grocery shopping cost videos out there, not too many people actually go shopping for you in the US and England to compare those
right.
prices.
Yeah,
So
that's-
let's go check out this Aldi.
Here's one thing that makes Aldi different than shopping at any other supermarket in the US is you got to put a quarter in to get your cart.
No way,
You
do
don't
you?
get the quarter back until you leave,
Yeah.
which
that
means
was
you have
weird
to
for
have a
me.
quarter on you. It took me a while.
Also, they don't give you bags.
Oh yeah, you have to supply your own bags.
Yeah. So
'Cause they're
both of those things were
environmentally
very
friendly.
different for me. Luckily, because I didn't know this when I went there. So the first time I went, which was like close to a year ago, somebody like it was happening to go put their cart back, and I was walking in and they were like, "Oh, do you want my cart?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, thanks." And I had no idea until I went to go put the cart back, and I was like, "What the hell is all this?" And then somebody was like, "Oh, you got to do a quarter. You didn't do a quarter?" And I was like, "No, somebody gave it to me." So that's a learning curve.
To figure out how it actually works, that you put the quarter in here and then pull that thing out there, and then you can take the cart.
One quick note before I start showing you products and prices, just a reminder that yes, in the US we have a lot of sales tax on most things, and it varies from state to state and city to city. But when it comes to food, that is not taxed. So like in the UK, the prices that I show you on shelf will be the prices paid at the register, at least for the food products I'm buying. Some things do have taxes, but I'm
Yeah.
just going for basic staple food items today.
Here we are, shopping at Britain's cheapest supermarket, 3 years running. Well, this is a good start. There are loads of magenta flowers at this Aldi. All right, let's see how the British Aldi prices compare to the American ones.
It kinda looks the
Ooh,
same.
This is exciting. British rhubarb for only £1.19.
Before I show you the price comparisons, I'm going to spend a few seconds explaining my methodology for the 2% of people who actually care. The American prices will
care.
mostly be shown in dollars per pound, and so to compare them to British prices, I will convert that to British pounds sterling per kilo by doing this. It involves a currency conversion as well as the conversion for weight between pounds and kilos.
It's a lot.
In the end,
Yeah,
I will
so
get an
much.
index and I will show that as a price comparison where the UK price is either more expensive in a red arrow or less expensive in a green arrow than the American price.
First up, we're going to shop for produce, starting with bananas. And these bananas are not looking very good.
They're not.
They
got
are
beat up.
priced at 48 cents per pound. I think these are the greenest bananas I've ever seen. And the cost is 16p per banana.
Wow.
Now for strawberries, we've got some strawberries from Mexico, looking a little anemic. And they are selling for $2.99 per pound. Here we've got some.
I loved that so much. Looking a little anemic. Yeah, I didn't realize how terrible, and I've never tried a strawberry anywhere else, but I've never realized how terrible our strawberries are until we started doing UK content, and people were like, your strawberries aren't pink in the middle, they're white. And they talk about like so many differences that I'm like, man, our strawberries suck. And I feel like ever since then, anytime I've eaten a strawberry, I've never been satisfied. Like it's like sometimes it's like, oh, this is a good strawberry, but this one kind of sucks. It's like I've just not had a good strawberry since.
Yeah.
And they are selling for $2.99 per pound. Here we've got some strawberries. And these are not the best British strawberries I've ever seen. Well, they're actually not British at all. They're Spanish. But usually I find better strawberries in Britain. They are $1.89 for 400 grams. American apples were $3.19 for 3 pounds, or $1.06 per pound. The red apples, they're $1.35 per kilo. Seedless red grapes in the States were $1.99 per pound. Seedless red grapes, 500 grams for $1.69. This.
Do you know what I noticed too? Do you not see like the differences in packaging?
Yeah, it's massive.
Like I'm no wonder why the packaging of the British food is like it feels more sealed and secured. And I'm really just saying that from the red grapes comparison.
Yeah, because ours is in like a little
bag,
terrible bag.
Yeah.
This is it.
I was just gonna say, well, one, like when I buy grapes, they're always so expensive. But two, and I don't know if maybe this would make an impact or not, but like my biggest fear anytime I bring grapes home is there being spiders in there, because I've seen like so many instances of that happening, never to me, but like pictures and videos and things, that it terrifies me. And I'm wondering if them being like sealed in packaging like this, if that wouldn't happen.
I don't know.
Like they would at least die, probably, right?
No, there's still air holes for them. You see it?
Yeah, I see one.
There's probably one on each side, but yeah.
500 grams for $1.69. This is a very British thing we don't have in the States.
Wonky strawberries.
Fruit. The wonky strawberries, the wonky blueberries, and the wonky white grapes.
What?
We do have irregular fruit. We just don't call it wonky. Then I'm going to look at the cheapest tomatoes, which are these Roma tomatoes, which honestly do not look very good to me, but I'm being budget shopper here. Here's the price, 89 cents a pound. They don't have exactly the same thing I saw in Texas, the Roma tomatoes, but these appear to be the least expensive tomatoes. These are $2.38
I'd rather
per kilo.
pay extra for
Oh
those.
my lands, I have never seen such an expensive basil in my life. 79p for these lovely little pots.
That's crazy that she called that expensive. Because here I'm thinking at like Walmart, for instance, I've not seen them anywhere else, but they have the pots that are like this big, and the plants are always like this tall, and they're like $4 or something like that. And they're like dead and shriveled up and literally like this tiny. You get like 2 to 3 basil leaves on them. And this is like, look at that beautiful plant.
Look at that plant. That is a plant. That's amazing.
That's incredible.
That's incredible.
Definitely buying that. What I'm going to do is recap the price indices by category. I'll show you a summary of the category with the prices I showed you in the video, not the equivalized prices. Then I will show you the price difference I got for each item after I did all the conversion formulas. Okay. Let's start with the fruit category. Bananas, probably because they are imported from so far away, are 34% more expensive in the UK.
It's quite a bit.
But the other types of fruits were less expensive in Britain. Strawberries were 9% less, red apples were 27% less, red grapes 2% less, And for tomatoes and tomatoes, this was a bit of a tough comparison.
That's big.
I did look at the least expensive option in each country, but the tomatoes were just not the same. So
But would you say the quality difference, you know, I think like the strawberries, red apples, red grapes, for it being even cheaper in the UK, but the quality was a lot better. It blows my mind.
Yeah, because we're paying more for really crap quality.
Yeah.
The tomatoes is interesting too because on the vine tomatoes are my favorite. I feel like they've just got the best flavor. If you're not having like homegrown, home picked tomatoes are the best. But like if you can't get those, then on the vine is my favorite. Roma tomatoes, which is the ones that she got like for the US comparison, I do feel like are the cheapest tomatoes if you're not getting the packages of like cherry or grape tomatoes. I feel like Roma tomatoes are always the cheapest. So I think if she was able to find those in the UK, I think the price comparison probably would have been a lot closer than it is here.
Yeah.
Because on the vine ones they're definitely not the cheapest.
And I also don't know the quality compared to like Tesco. Like what are their QA, like
Yeah.
what are their standards in relation, because they want to keep it cheap, right? It's cheap prices. So like are they, like the wonky? Because I think we have something in America where like you have the non-perfect like potatoes.
Yeah, they have like a subscription box. That's the only one that I know of that you can get,
like
where
the
you can get like
rejects.
a subscription box where you're getting like foods that have been supposedly rejected at the grocery store because they're like misshapen or things like that. But I don't know.
Like misshapen tomatoes or
Yeah, I feel like
potatoes.
there's a lot of times, specifically for fruits and veggies, that I come home and I've spent like a good amount of money on them and they're crap. Like the
Yeah.
quality is, and it doesn't matter. It could be Walmart, it can be Publix, it can be like all these different places. It's like I'll come home and I'll move the top 2 strawberries off the top and the entire center of them is like rotten and gross. And it's the same with like half of the fruits and vegetables that I bring home. It's horrible. So,
Well, do you think that's climate differences between Colorado and Florida? I think it's like
no,
more
I'm
temperate
speaking
here.
like everywhere that I've lived. It's
Uh-uh.
like that. I think things like get rotten here. They go bad way faster.
Yeah.
Like way faster. It's actually really stupid, but
So with the climate in Florida, I'll say things do just rot quick.
it took
here.
me like 6 months. And I don't know why it took me so long because I've wasted so much money, but to get used to it because I've been in the Midwest for like 20 something years.
A
But
drier,
I
more
could
area.
go because I like to grocery shop and get like a whole bunch at once. I don't want to go like every couple days or once a week or anything. So we eat a lot of fruits and vegetables in this house. So I would buy so many fruits and vegetables and they would last us for a week, week and a half, until I went again. But here, like I can only buy fruits and vegetables every like
Couple of
2
days.
to 3 days max or they go rotten. And it took me so many wasted fruits and veggies and so many dollars before I realized that because it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can only buy a couple days worth and then it's rotten.
And that's, I guess, coming from Colorado, just the temperate climate is
Yeah.
a lot different.
in each country, but the tomatoes were just not the same. So honestly, the British ones were 54% more expensive, but they were a totally different type of tomato and honestly a better quality. American baking
that in
potatoes
consideration.
were $3.59 for a 5-pound bag or 72 cents per pound. Here we've got some British baking potatoes and there's 69p for 4 of them. Once again, not telling me the weight, which is going to be really difficult.
Yeah,
Making
that's tricky.
videos like this takes 8
I think she's gonna get into it. I was just gonna say the fact that if I was her, I would have done that and been like, okay, she said this is gonna be really difficult. I would have been like, this is gonna be too complicated. Me trying to figure all this out. We're not including potatoes.
Yeah.
But she's like, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna deal with how to figure
do
this
the
out and get as
scale.
close as I can. So, phenomenal job.
weight, which is going to be really difficult. Making videos like this takes a tremendous amount of time and effort, so I would love it if you could support me by
Yes.
subscribing to my channel.
Guys, give
Iceberg
us
lettuce
subscribe.
in the US was $1.35 per head. Here is the iceberg lettuce. It is 79p per head. Broccoli
cheaper.
in the US is usually sold in bulk, not wrapped in any plastic or packaging. But here in the American Aldi, the broccoli is sold wrapped in plastic for $1.25 per pound. And here is the broccoli.
That's how we usually
It
see it.
is 79p for 360 grams or $2.20 per kilo. Here's some carrots. I'm going to go for the more affordable whole carrots rather than the baby carrots. And here they are, big carrots in 2-pound bags. They are 75 cents per pound. And these massive 1 kilo bags of carrots are only 65p. Here's the problem I would have with buying onions at Aldi. They come in these huge bags. I don't want a
that's a
huge
lot.
bag of onions. I usually just want like one. This 3-pound bag is $2.39, which is 80 cents per pound. Interesting.
Wow.
Yellow onions in Britain are called brown onions. And these are 89p per 3-pack. Oh goodness, I hate that they're not doing it by weight. This is going to be hard to compare. What I did for all the British products that were sold as eaches rather than by weight is I figured out what the average weight is for those packages and then went back to equivalizing per kilo. For the vegetable summary, potatoes were 3% less expensive in Britain, lettuce 26% less expensive, broccoli was about the same. Carrots, good old carrots, they taste better in Britain and they're half as much.
Oh,
That's crazy.
Onions were 28% more expensive in the UK than the US. However, that's a bit of a difficult comparison because the American onions were sold in such a big bag. I'm sure there was a volume discount there. A quick note.
So I'm wondering if, like, how much of our Aldi stuff is being imported from so many different geographical locations compared to, you know, the Aldi in America or in the UK. Like, I feel like the Aldi in the UK is getting their stuff more localized
Yeah, for
than
sure.
what we're getting, if that makes any sense. And maybe that has an adjustment on pricing. I have no idea. I've definitely seen cheaper places at like Walmart or even Publix than, or cheaper prices than necessarily at Aldi. Like, I guess it's cheap, but like some items vary.
I would say some, yeah. I
Yeah.
think majority of the ones they've shown so far, I think they're cheaper than I get them at like Walmart or Publix.
Yeah.
Note, I will not be covering chocolates and candy and biscuits and things in this video because I covered those in my Aldi shop that I did at Christmas time. And if you're interested
nice.
in that, I will link the video below. So here are the regular eggs. 1 dozen large eggs is $1.93. But
My
in this
God.
case, I am going to go for some more expensive eggs because I want them to be comparable to what I might find in Britain. So I'm going to look at these pasture raised 1 dozen large brown eggs are $4.99. And these free range for $3.39, all for a
Do you remember when eggs were like $12 a box?
Oh my God, it was insane.
So
Once they got down to like $4 a dozen, it was like, yes, they're so cheap compared to like what they were for so long. It's crazy.
I literally think maybe at the tail end or maybe even the sometime last year, eggs were like a hot commodity. You saw the memes of everyone like bartering with eggs.
Yeah.
Like,
It was really crazy, actually.
yeah.
and these free range for $3.39, all for a dozen. Okay, here we have the large British free range eggs, and they are $2.69 for a
Wow.
dozen. Now for the dairy section. At the American Aldi, low-fat milk is sold for $2.67 per gallon. Here we've got the semi-skimmed milk for $2.15 for 6
Still love
pints
the
or 3.4
handles.
liters. It's normally $2.30. Here in the US, we don't have such a great selection of cream, but our options are pretty much half and half or heavy whipping cream, which I think is most comparable to Britain. So I'm going to look at that,
Wow.
which is 32 ounces for $5.09. This is disappointing because I have seen heavy whipped cream in English supermarkets before, but this Aldi does not seem to have any. The closest thing I can find is double cream, so I'm just going to look at that. The double cream is 99p for 300 mil. I skipped over the Greek yogurt, which is expensive, so that I could find the less expensive yogurt. And here we've got some vanilla yogurt, and the plain is the same price at 32-ounce carton, $2.25. Most of it's Greek, but the regular yogurt here is 95p
Wow.
for 450 gram
For that
tub.
big container.
Normally it's
Wow.
99p. And for my favorite part of the dairy category,
So that's crazy because here you get those like mini personal containers of yogurt for literally like $1.10.
The
each.
Chobani's.
I mean, that's a brand, but yeah, even like Yoplait, like any of them,
Yeah.
not even just Greek, but like, you know how I was going through that like yogurt phase and I was getting like all those little mini ones. They're like $1 each, just over $1 each.
It's insane.
cheese. I'm going to just go for the least expensive cheddar cheese that they have, which is here.
Government cheese.
We've got, whether it's mild or sharp, it's in these half-pound blocks, 8 ounces for $1.99. Now for a quick peek at the more interesting cheeses that they have. I'm not going to go through all the prices, but just to show you the other things on offer. There's this cranberry white cheddar cheese, but it is, I think, made in the States. I've been trying this kind of cheese lately, the cheddar plus Gruyere. It actually is pretty good for American cheddar.
Sounds good.
And then here we have our Irish cheddar cheeses. New York white cheddar, which is when you usually see white cheddar cheese in the States, it's from New York, whereas the Wisconsin cheddar is what's known for being orange. Oh my goodness, I have never seen halloumi fries. Wow.
Yum.
I guess they're finally coming to the States. British mild white cheddar. It is $5.42 per kilo. I've never seen this before. This
Oh, that's
is
lovely.
exciting, adorable,
Yeah.
and all the things. And since my cheese-loving friend Krista just arrived from North Carolina, I will have to buy some of this British cheese selection. Mature
that's
cheddar,
nice.
double Gloucester with Roquito pepper, red Leicester, and Wensleydale with cranberries. In the American Aldi, the bargain butter was $3.69 for a 16-ounce pack. And the premium Irish butter, a Kerrygold knockoff, made from grass-fed cow milk, is $3.09 for 8 ounces. Regular
got some.
salted butter is
We still have our Kerrygold.
We've got a little bit left.
Yeah, so we got a stick, or what was it, like a thing of Kerrygold. And
Somebody told us we were taste testing something and somebody was like, but you got to use the Kerrygold butter. So we specifically bought it for that, and it was very expensive here.
it was super
It was
expensive.
just 2 sticks of butter, and it was like $7.
So
But it was
thank you.
good. It was good.
It was.
$1.69 on sale for 250 grams, normally $1.79. And here in England, we don't have Irish butter at Aldi. We have West Country salted butter.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's on sale for $1.99, normally $2.09. In the dairy category, free-range eggs
Wow.
were same price.
No kidding.
Milk was
All over.
22% more expensive. Heavy cream was 22% cheaper in Britain. Yogurt is 13% more expensive in Britain. Cheddar cheese is 22% less expensive in Britain. Regular butter, 12% more expensive in Britain, but the premium butter, 22% less expensive.
So I have a question about the cream, because I feel as though Americans, we use our cream, like heavy whipping cream, mainly for baking, right? It's not something we're putting into drinks and stuff like that, but because we don't have, like, when we were doing that comparison, when Dara was doing that comparison, we didn't really have that many options. There wasn't a wide range of options in the cream selection. So she basically had heavy whipping cream or half and half, which half and half we primarily would use in our coffee. Like I use half and half for my coffee instead of just regular milk. Um, so I'm curious if the reason why it's um, cheaper in the UK is because it's more of how do I say this? It's more like a commodity out there, so it's like more like people have more of it and they
Yeah.
use it for tea more often. I don't know what you guys would use creams for out there,
I think
but
they do like clotted cream or something to make like a dessert type, like mousse type
yeah.
stuff to put like with biscuits and things.
I'm just trying to think of the application.
Yeah.
We just don't have that many applications for heavy
Yeah, we
whipping cream,
don't.
so it's
I
like whatever.
use it like in scrambled eggs to make them fluffier and to make like homemade Alfredo sauce, and like not much else do I ever use heavy whipping cream for like to make some sauces and things for like pastas. But yeah, it's not something that like we buy regularly or
And
often.
and then it's interesting, and I think maybe in the Kroger and Tesco video someone mentioned this, but like semi-skimmed milk as compared to our 2% milk, is that like just different language as to how to identify
Yeah, because
the reduced
I think
fat?
it's considered skim milk. I think at one point we used to call it skim milk even.
And it was just unappeasing
Yeah,
to
I don't know why. I remember us having skim milk, and I think maybe because I'm not a milk drinker. I haven't drank milk since I was like 11 years old. I think it's disgusting. And like our toddler son drinks milk, but he drinks whole milk, so he gets those calories.
Mhm.
But like when I did drink milk as a kid, I remember like us having skim milk. And so I don't know at what point if they just renamed it or like replaced it. I don't know, but we definitely either had or have a skim milk. I don't
That's
know if it's
interesting.
different or just very similar, but
Hmm.
yeah.
Now let's shop the meat section. Going to go look at ground beef. The 85% lean is $4.79 a pound. The 93% lean is $5.89 a pound. The meat section is looking
price.
really, really different here. They have all different kinds of things, and of course, a lot of lamb that we don't have in the States. Oh, and pork belly slices.
Wow.
That's
I'm
salty.
going to
That
have
sounds
to
good.
see if I can find anything to compare with what I saw in Texas. Here we have some beef
Mince.
mince that's 10% fat, similar to what I saw in Texas.
Wow.
And it is $6.18 per kilo or $3.09 for this half kilo pack. Rather than only looking at what's the least expensive though, I do want to try and find something that's maybe a little more comparable to the UK. So I'm going to look at these organic free-range chicken breasts, which are $5.79 a pound. The chicken is not labeled regular and organic here, so I'm going to just compare these chicken breasts to what I saw in Texas. A medium pack of the chicken breasts is normally $4.69 for 650 grams and on special for $4.49.
Okay.
Now let's try and find some bacon. What's the cheapest bacon? Obviously,
It's very
this is
different.
American.
They're not the same.
Yeah.
Streaky bacon.
Streaky bacon. There you go. That's
Got all different kinds.
Look at that bacon. That's delicious though. you
Gourmet
guys.
thick slice, center cut, but the least expensive is this economy bacon.
That one looks gross.
And 1 pound package
I would not
is
eat that.
$3.29 now, normally.
But it is delicious.
Is it?
I don't know that particular bacon. I'm just saying bacon,
Bacon in
slices in general are
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah, we've never had back bacon. We
Uh,
did just recently find a place that's
sold
like
it.
half an hour away that
Yeah.
sells back bacon sometimes. So we'll have to give it a go, but we've not had it yet.
If you guys haven't tried regular, this is it's very bad for you,
Yeah.
but that's okay. You know, sacrifice it for the flavor. Okay.
$3.99. And of course, here are all the pasties and pork pies you don't find in a Texas Aldi. And sausage rolls, of course. This kind of streaky bacon. That one is $5.03 per kilo. This will be the bacon that I compare to the American Aldi bacon at $1.45 for a 270 gram pack. Although there was also this kind of streaky bacon that looks more similar to American bacon, is $10.41 per kilo.
So they actually call it streaky bacon. So they have our kind of bacon. They just call it streaky bacon.
Yeah, I guess. It seemed like from Discord chats we've had, I'm trying to remember the conversations. I know that they've called it streaky bacon, but I was thinking that maybe like you can't find it as much, or maybe they just haven't had it. I can't remember. But yeah, I guess I didn't realize that it was like that accessible.
The meat summary shows that everything's a bargain in Britain. The ground or minced beef was 40% less expensive. The chicken breasts were 28% cheaper in Britain than the US. And the streaky bacon was 24% less expensive in Britain than the US. Now for the baking category, here's our sugar, just basic granulated sugar that comes in a 4-pound package, and it's $3.09. Our granulated sugar is leaking, and it is $1.09 for a kilo. And next to it, we've got our flour, plain all-purpose flour. It is 5-pound bag for $2.35. Our everyday essentials plain flour in 1.5 kilo bags is 70p. And since I love comparing honey in the US and UK, I have to look at honey. This is the least expensive one they have on offer now. It's 24 fluid ounces, on sale for $4.99, but it's normally $5.19. Let's check out the honey. The cheapest honey here is the Everyday Essentials clear honey in a glass jar. I love that it's in a glass jar. It's 75p for 340 grams. In the baking category, more British bargains. Sugar, 19% cheaper, flour, 43% cheaper, and honey, I always talk about British honey, 63% cheaper, because American honey is crazy expensive.
It is.
Even at Aldi. The American Aldi had plain white bread for a mere $1.29 for a 20-ounce loaf, and the seeded bread was normally $3.99 for a 20-ounce loaf, on sale for $3.85. Quite a big premium. Here is the least expensive bread in the store. It's the Essentials brand, the Everyday Essentials brand. Medium sliced wholemeal bread is only 45p for one of these 800-gram loaves. And the Super Seed Farmhouse bread is $105 for an 800-gram loaf, normally $109. The bread summary is pretty depressing because U.S. bread is not good. It does not taste good. It does not smell good. And it does not have good prices compared to the UK. The regular sandwich bread in the UK is 69% cheaper than it is in the US, and the nice seeded bread is 75% cheaper in Britain.
It makes you want to cry, doesn't it?
That's why I don't even bother making bread when I'm in the UK. I just buy that lovely seeded bread. Now let's look at the coffee category. I don't drink coffee, so I don't know a lot about this, but they've got this 100% Colombian ground coffee.
Dara, how do you live?
24 ounces, $8.49.
Drinks tea.
And then this classic roast coffee, which is 30 ounces, normally $7.89, on sale for $7.69. In England, the Colombian ground coffee was $2.99 for a 227-gram bag, and the house blend ground coffee was $2.19 for a 227-gram bag. So I'm going to compare that one to the cheapest American Aldi coffee. However, this was a bit complicated since the American coffee came in those huge canisters, and the British coffee only came in these packs. 12-ounce packs. So I had to go back and find a comparable American coffee, which was this one. A medium roast house blend at $4.65 for a 12-ounce pack. Now let's look at the tea category. They don't have a lot of items here. First, we've got black tea, 100 bags, 8 ounces, $2.09.
They have Yorkshire.
And then we've got this 20 bags of English breakfast or Earl Grey black tea, and those are $1.89. They do have some herbal teas as well. Seem to be different ones every time I come here, but right now we've got this ginger turmeric, and I believe that is also $1.89
Good
for a
for
20-count
inflammation, the
box.
turmeric.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's good for
English people, you're going to need to explain the tea to me here. So I see there's Yorkshire tea
Yeah.
and PG Tips
A
tea,
ton.
and then the Aldi tea is called Gold Label. That's 80 bags
Diplomat.
for $1.39. And then down here we have Red Label, which is 160 bags for $1.89. What is that code for, Gold and Red Label? Oh, I am very excited about this selection of herbal teas here. They're only 99p for these boxes. They each have 40 bags. That is such a great deal, and
Yeah.
it's awesome to be able to get rooibos tea, so
Rooibos.
I'm excited. To summarize the hot beverage category, the house blend ground coffee is 10% cheaper in Britain, plain black tea is 28% cheaper in Britain, and our favorite, herbal and herbal tea, is 67% cheaper in Britain.
I'm going to be honest with you guys, though, when it comes to coffee, and I'm sure you guys are the same way, this is more brand specific than anything else.
Yeah.
Because, like, I will pay 50,000% more the cost for my particular brand in coffee that I like than I would the cheapest route. And I think that a lot of people are the same way. Like, some people only drink Yorkshire tea and nothing else, and it doesn't matter the price.
Yeah.
I will only drink Dunkin' Donuts coffee, and there's nothing else. I don't care if it costs. You can have cheaper options in front of me. I'm always going to divert to DD's. You know,
He does. It's true.
They-
We've got,
they're
I like to
Hortons.
just coffee shop around, not by price really, but by like what sounds good flavor wise. And so I've got like 6 or 7 different kinds of coffee, and he will literally only drink Dunkin'.
I'll only drink Dunkin'.
He did drink
or
a little bit of the
Hortons.
Costas that somebody sent us.
I did
but
drink
he was like,
Costas.
I prefer my Dunkin'. I
Yeah.
thought the Costas was superior, but you know.
It just had like
Teach his own.
a different flavor. And I found one coffee. It was a light roast that was phenomenal. And I only drank it because I had to. And it was a Denver blend. And that was the name, Denver blend. It was phenomenal. But
He
all
does
right,
like the more light roast.
it's a light
coffees, you do.
roast. Yeah.
Which is why we always drink a lot of herbal tea when we're in England. Okay, we're gonna look at some rice. We're gonna go for the least expensive, which is just this white rice in 3-pound bags.
That's
Here
a
is
lot
the
of rice.
cheapest
Yeah, it's pretty
rice
big.
we can find. Long grain rice, everyday essentials. It is 52p for 1 kilo bag. Now let's look at some oatmeal. We've got basic, quick cook rolled oats, as well as the old-fashioned
Quakers.
rolled oats, both the same price, 42 ounces
Oh,
for $3.95. Oh my, look at
that's
these
actually kind of
porridge oats.
expensive.
The everyday essentials are basically in flour bags and
Weird.
only 90p
Wow.
for
Yeah.
1 kilo. Now I'll go to the canned beans section and try to find something that's the closest I can find to Heinz beans in Britain. So we've got this pork and beans and tomato sauce. That's a 16-ounce can is 87 cents. And then these Western style beans, which are kind of baked beans, kind of what you would use to make chili, just pinto beans with seasoning. Those are a 15-ounce can for 90 cents now. Normally,
am I losing my mind, or she was like, I'm trying to find something comparable to Heinz beans in the UK. Heinz is an American company, right?
We've had this conversation before.
Have we?
Yeah. We talked about Heinz and ketchup. It was a ketchup thing when you brought it up, and we've had this whole conversation. Do
Okay.
you not remember when I made the English breakfast and I was torn between the Heinz brand or the whatever the other brand was, and I went with the other brand, Branston's or something like that. It started with a B, I think, because the Heinz ones looked super like tomatoey, and I didn't know how that was going to go, so I got the other brand. They have them in like the international aisle at like Publix.
Hmm,
Heinz beans.
that's weird. Okay.
Those are a 15-ounce can for 90 cents now, normally 99 cents. And we've got our baked beans. The everyday essentials baked beans and tomato sauce are only 28p for a 410
Tomato
gram
sauce.
can. Now let's look at the
Like a brown
mustard.
sauce, no?
If we want to get something a
American
little
one.
bit fancy, like spicy browns or stone ground or
Dijon.
Dijon with white wine.
Do you notice how she pronounced that?
What?
How
Dijon?
she didn't put an R in there because it's not a pizza brand.
Or Dijon with white wine.
I make it a little Viking.
Dijon. No, you
Like
just make it something
Bjork.
that's not.
Bjorn. But with a D. It's Bjorn. Dijon.
No, that made sense.
Doesn't have
A
to.
12-ounce bottle is normally $1.29, on sale now for $1.09. If you just want your basic yellow mustard, that's 20 ounces for 95 cents. Okay, in terms of mustard, we have this
Wow.
English mustard in a jar, which is 69p for 200 grams. And we have this American style mustard over here, which is $109 for
basically
290
Heinz,
grams.
right?
Our final category of other odds and ends miscellaneous
Whoa.
things compares rice, which is 2/3 less expensive in Britain. Oats are also 2/3 less expensive. The baked beans, and for this item, I compared the most similar product, the smaller beans and tomato sauce, 55% cheaper. But Dijon mustard, that'll cost you 15% more in the UK. And yellow mustard, oh
That's
my word, 185% more expensive
It's because
in
Coleman's
Britain.
has
So the moral of the
mustard
story
in it.
is, if you are American, when you go to visit Britain, eat some baked beans. They are good for your heart. And if you are British and you go to the States on holiday, be sure to enjoy some mustard. Because
When we come to visit the UK, you guys, we will bring a bag full of just mustard and just
deal it
we'll
out.
just wheel it and deal it.
Heinz
it's
mustard
British
too.
and you go to
Yeah.
the States on holiday, be sure to enjoy some mustard because it's cheap as chips. And while we're here,
crazy.
if you need a paving stone for your front garden that says
that's
gnomes always welcome, oh, it's heavy. You can pick that up for a mere $7. And now for the grand finale. When I took the pounds per kilo equivalent
go.
price for every item in the list and totaled it all up, here's what I got so that we can compare apples to apples. The American shopping cart cost 120 pounds sterling, and the British shopping trolley only 94 pounds,
Wow.
which means shopping at Aldi or Aldi is 21% less expensive in Britain than it is in the US. Thanks for watching this comparison video. I have several other comparison videos of shopping and food prices right here. I hope you check out one of those. Thanks
That's
for watching.
wonderful.
Thanks for commenting, and thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate your
Ooh.
support. And
Difference
do
in
something good in the world today.
don't make that go away.
Ah, sorry.
Differences in buying a home in the UK and Britain, I think is, or in the US and Britain, I think is the one that I was trying.
Interesting video. Love the comparisons. It, why does it even matter? Because even though they're like 20% here, 60% here, and some things are more or less expensive, like she totaled it up, it's a big difference. When you have a cart full of just everyday essentials,
Mm-hmm.
that shit adds up.
Yeah.
So when Taylor goes out, she goes out and she buys enough stuff to like last us for a month. And it's a couple of $100 at that point. So seeing the price differences, it kind of is shocking, but it also hurts.
Yeah.
Because you would think from Aldi, it's the same. It should be the same brands. I would think it's the same store. Like, why are things so much different?
But it's not going to be the same brand because it's in two different countries.
But why not?
Because like shipping costs and
But they're distribution change. They should be like, okay, I have an Aldi brand. This is my Aldi brand. Why is the Aldi brand different just because they're in the same or different countries, right? It's still Aldi brand. No?
I don't.
I digress. It is what it is. But the price difference does matter because, again, at the end of the day, we're trying to buy everyday essentials, basic necessities, and you see the differences in prices, and it's a lot.
And it's painful knowing that we could be getting such better quality, better tasting food for cheaper.
Yeah,
It's like,
essentially. But you guys, check out Dara's channel. That was a lovely and amazing video. I always love watching her videos because it is just so organic and so authentic and so fun.
Yeah.
And I love that about her videos.
It's very eye-opening. And again, she puts so much time and effort into it. So it just cannot can't hit that enough because dang, there is no way. Even like she put up the equations and I'm like, I'm out. Nope, math.
But do you want to see us eating food? I'll record us.
We went to Aldi's and got this, and we will now eat it for you.
It's bad. Basic maths.
Fractions. Multiplications.
So you guys, links for Dara's channels, Magenta Otter Travels, is going to be down in the description. Please, please, please do it for us. Do it because you're kind. Do it because
she deserves it.
She deserves it. Give her a like and subscribe to her channel. And thank you, Dara, for letting us check out this video. Guys, until next time, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.